the morning view. And leave no trace. That was a nice little spot. Yeah, we've just got started. 7 in the morning. Wonderful views. And horses galore. And they're just so tame as well. I mean, I am literally just yards from them, and I don't blame them, they're just ignoring me, getting on the job in hand. Yeah, you're having breakfast, aren't you? Yeah, I had porridge. And here's the ford. As it happens, we're going that way. So we're now following a delightful little river called West Wetham. Well, apparently the path's that way. Interesting sign. It doesn't even say it's a public footpath. It's just path. But I think a pleasant path. A well-defined path. And hopefully a public path. This is Drywall Cross, and it's at actual crossroads, as you can see. Well, I know absolutely nothing about it other than it is very similar to the other cross we saw on Dartmoor. On that particular cross was a Devon boundary marker, so maybe that's the same. Anyhow, meanwhile, we're going this way. Another nice country road. So apparently we're at the top of Hameldown Tor. And I do love it when we get a trig point. I've not seen many, so I have to give it the inevitable tap. And then we're going over that way. How about that? That is from 1300s BC. That's pretty ancient, to say the least. Not sure I've seen anything quite as good as that. Apparently there was about 24 structures within the enclosure. We will go down and take a closer look. So I was just looking, I mean the size of these boulders, it must have been quite some wall when it was in place. And clearly it was originally built to be near the stream, which is now dried up. I mean, we've had good weather, but I can't imagine they put a settlement near a stream that dries up. Makes you wonder about climate change, and I guess even farming may have diverted it. Well, we have to leave the settlement behind. Well, I don't mind getting close to their ponies, but these guys, I'm not sure. So this is Bennett's cross. So it's originally something from the 13th century, but then it acquired its name in the 16th century, and I think it's a miner who was Bennett. But it noted where the path was, where it crossed the road that's behind me, in terms of the pathway going across the moors. As you can see, there's some people on the path now. Well, we're starting to have doubts. Yeah, we're on the Two Moors Way, but we hadn't seen any signs that are like this. We saw them right at the beginning. So, I don't know, maybe 30 miles ago. So yeah, good to have a bit of reassurance. So we've just come down a great public bridleway. And you can imagine it's been there for hundreds of years. And then I do like this sign over here. Keep heart, you're still en route. However, tempting as it is, I can't stop in a hotel tonight. I need to keep going. But I must admit, I think we're only maybe 5 miles off where we need to be. And we do keep ending up on these types of roads. A type where you don't actually see any cars. And when you do see one, it comes as quite a shock. So Chagford swimming pool is actually nearly 100 years old. The land was given to the locals and they actually dug it out by hand to make a pool. Of course now it's proper filtered water. But yeah, brilliant. Look at the valley. So another fine day of hiking, and we've managed to do about 18 miles or so. And yeah, I mean today was quite a, I could say it's almost like that game of two halves. So in the morning we're very much on the moors and saw lots of horses, saw the ancient settlement, and then get more into the rolling countryside. And it was just pleasant to have something completely different and to have it in both halves in one day. And I particularly enjoyed seeing the swimming pool. Not that I necessarily saw much of the swimming pool, but just the history of it. I mean, that's just so unique. And this is one of the things I love about walking and hiking. You just don't know what you're going to come across. And yeah, that was just special in its own way. And of course, we're now had to find a wild camping spot and apply all the rules of wild camping, which previously, being on the moors, we didn't have to worry about. And it's strange how different it feels. We've got a nice spot, we're out the wind, we're very sheltered. But yeah, like I say, back to the rules of wild camping. I think the other thing is, and to be aware of, water. Water's been a little bit challenging, but we've managed to get by one means or another. Okay, well, on that note, as you can probably tell, it's fairly dark, so I need to get some shut-eye. See you in the morning. Good night. Well, there you go. Me and you will know that's where I spent the night. But otherwise, no one else will know. Onward we go. And when we were finding our place in the forest, it was a bit of a maze to get here. So it might be interesting trying to find our way out to the village. I just had to grab that sign. Apparently, we've come from Hameldown. And that's the sign for the village that we're going to. But it's taken us a while to get back onto the path that we were looking for in the forest. So when we're not on the moors, a lot of the time we're on these bridle ways, and they're really beautiful. It makes you wonder, like, how long they've been a pathway. Obviously this one leads to the village, and yeah, they quite often have overhanging woods, and obviously you've got the hedges, so you kind of go in the summer, you're protected from the sun. In the winter, you're protected from the wind and the rain. So the Drew Arms, where we are now, once had the oldest licensee in the country, Mabel Mudge, who ran the establishment for 75 years until her retirement in 1994 at the age of 99, would you believe? Wow, that's dedication. So why am I showing you this? Well, what I find interesting is this design where it's got like twisted metal and then the kind of loop on the end. Nearly all the gates we come to seem to have this design rather than just a normal boring piece of hooked metal. I'm just wondering if it's something unique to the Two Moors Way, or is it kind of unique to Devon? I must have seen, I don't know, maybe 25, 30 of these so far, spread all along the route. Like I say, I don't know if it's unique to the route or it's a unique design to Devon. If you know, please let me know. I am intrigued. So this here is Peter Randall-Page's sculpture, and it's depicting like the sort of two halves of the Two Moors Way. So obviously this kind of woodland landscape, and then the other half of the stone is on the moors somewhere. Yes, I need to look out for it, but it's obviously, as you can imagine, it's two halves of one big stone. So as you can hear, I'm just crossing dual carriageway, the A30 as it happens. And I was just discussing with my daughter how it's like a real assault on the ears when you've been walking for miles and miles in the countryside. And on normal circumstances, if you were walking across such a bridge in the city or the town, you won't think anything of it. But when you've done over 50 miles of quiet solitude, it's amazing how it feels really intense. It feels like I'm torturing myself here. So on that note, no more talking, definitely gotta get walking. Like an allotment here, and it's almost they've designed their own flag for the independent state of allotment. So at the moment we're very much walking through typical English countryside, and what we find as we go down the various lanes, we come across all these quaint cottages. Yeah, that's what I feel I should be doing. And we can just see the church behind the buildings, and that's Hittersley Church. It was actually built in the 15th century, and it has a kind of sad noteworthy because in the 19th century it was the lowest income church in Devon. Probably one of the most remote ones as well. Right, we're going on, and interesting, there's a sign up here for wedding parking. Loving the garden. To the oak barn. So since we left this morning, the signage has been absolutely brilliant. Whereas up to now, I would have said the signage is pretty poor. So yeah, it's really mixed reviews in terms of the signage. So the church was built in the 1500s and restored in the 1700s. And there's a church on this site since Doomsday. And the other interesting thing is that it's a parish without a village. So I don't know if the video really can portray how hot it's getting now, but that forced me to then think about a resupply of water. So I was walking along, and would you believe, we came across a brewery. And I can't believe I went to a brewery and asked for a refill of water. But thankfully and luckily, they were very kind and they gave me a refill. So cheers, Utopia Brewery. So clearly, to Moor's Way, it's a walk for all ages. Well, this is fun. Yep, this is where the Two Moors goes. Yeah, and we have checked, we're on the official footpath. I think I've lost my daughter. She's somewhere. Victoria, where are you? Oh, I can see a stick waving. Wow. That was an experience to behold. We have come to the sign. So we were doing the right thing. Did make you wonder at times though. So yeah, we have a map. The only map I've seen that covers the whole route. That's where we are. And what you can see here is that this is Dartmoor. And we have Exmoor at the top. And so the part of the route we're doing now is really trying to connect. So this is the connection part. And from what I've seen today, from kind of doing this part, it's rolling countryside, typical kind of English rolling countryside. And lots of thatched roofs and quaint little villages. Very pleasant. And then we're going to hit the moors again eventually. Probably not tomorrow, it might be the day after. So we've just come through Morchard Bishop Village, and there's a stone here that said 2 Moors Way, 29th of May 1975. That is the year it was actually opened, the 2 Moors Way. You find us in the woods again, wild camping, having to apply the normal rules of wild camping because we're no longer on the moors. Honestly, I don't think we have been for a day or two. I certainly think we've probably got another day tomorrow where we're not going to be camping on the moors. And in fact, these few days are very much about moving from one moor to the other. So moving from Dartmoor to Exmoor and then finally getting to the finish. Today's been a little bit warm and we've had to, I can't believe I had to ask a brewery to give me water rather than beer, but such is life. And it's been some very delightful cottages and farmhouses. In fact, in some ways, all those thatched roofs reminded me of the Cotswold Way. So, on that note, I'm going to need my rest, so I'll see you guys in the morning. Good night.